Hi everyone, I will be getting shortly. I just have to go live here on Instagram in like a couple minutes, seconds, and then we will begin. So I am live now on both IG and LinkedIn. So hi, I hope everyone is having a great Friday. Sorry, I'm a little bit late, but I have a lot of work to do for Friday. So I was able to finish up what I needed to and come over and hop right over here. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that actually came up during a live stream that I actually saw on Tuesday on LinkedIn. And when I watched it, it really resonated with me. It was a comment that was made. And that is hence the title of today's live stream, which is Comfortable with Not Being Seen. And I actually saw this on a live stream. Her name is Nana, and she is on LinkedIn. So if you are not following her, you need to and really watch that live stream. But this particular point that she made about how she was having a conversation with one of her clients, it struck something in me. And I was like, oh, I think I can relate to that. And I literally had something completely else, something, a totally different topic, sort of like a fluff topic, I guess you could say, that I was going to talk about today. But this changed my mind. And so here I am today. So being comfortable with not being seen. And I think a lot of us do that, but we do it, but we don't know that we're doing it, right? And it shows up in other ways just besides our style, but it also shows up in our lives as well. And I know that it shows up for me in my world, both work, even being an entrepreneur, all of it kind of shows up in some way, shape, or form. And it's also rooted in something that probably happened to us at one point or another that allows us to not be seen. But not being seen actually hurts us. But what is not being seen? So let's start there. So, not being seen is maybe not speaking up at work when you need to, it is people seeing you as that next level executive in the C suite. That is being in your, if you're an entrepreneur, and them not seeing you as the expert that you say you are because you're not showing up as what you want to be, as your authentic self in either path that you want to go to, right? And it comes from and rooted in a form of fear because something happened to us, whether when we were younger or recent, but at some point in our timeline in life, something caused us to hide away in our shells and be okay with not being seen. And one of the things we see is that we see people excelling and doing the things that they need to do in order to get what they want. But here's the thing, they aren't afraid of being seen. And that could also come in the form of somebody giving you a compliment and you're like, oh, wait, what? It's kind of different in people. And you, especially when you see here multiple people saying, oh, you have on a nice dress, your glasses are nice, whatever it may be, it takes you aback because you're not used to people saying, oh, that looks nice on you, or oh, you did a great job today, or oh, you can't, the point you made in the meeting today was a great point that you made that we need to look in further. Those are all things of not being seen. And yes, I am a style coach, but here I am to tell you that your style and your dress is a small fraction of being seen. And this has nothing to do with you and your expertise, your skill set, your qualifications, because I know that you are overqualified and can do any job that you can do. But people don't know that because we always tend to also think that our work is going to speak for itself. And that if we do the work, that people will see us. But what I am learning and what I have learned is you can do all the hard work in the world and still not be seen as that person to go into the C suite. Because guess what? Those people have to be seen on some level. Even if you want to get into a director role, you have to be seen on some level. So we have to get uncomfortable, as I like to call it, to get uncomfortable with being seen. And I can tell you literally from my own personal experience after hearing that, that that is exactly what I do. I am very comfortable with being seen, with not very comfortable with not being seen. And here's why. One, because I don't show up on live streams and in a way that is going to position myself as an expert in my area of expertise. I can even also say when I'm at work, I don't necessarily show up, or I'm comfortable with not being seen and not speaking up when I need to speak up all the time. And it's very hard and difficult, even though we don't think that that's what we're doing, but it is what we're doing. And it can be very difficult and it can be scary to actually step out to be seen. And when we do step out to be seen, what happens? If we don't get the results we want, if we feel that someone gave us some type of critique or criticism, we run right back to our comfort space of not being seen. But I'm here to tell you that it is literally doing us a huge disservice of not being seen. We're not getting the jobs that we want. We're not having the lives that we necessarily want. And one of the easiest ways to be seen, because of course this all ties back into style in some way, shape, or form, right? The easiest way to be seen is actually through your style. And it doesn't have to be this, oh, I got to go out and I have to buy a whole new wardrobe, or I have to get all of these new latest and greatest things. No, I am pretty sure that you have things in your closet right now that will allow you to be seen, to practice with being seen, because it doesn't really take a lot. And I definitely get getting outside of your comfort zone. It's rough because I'm proof. I'm sitting here on a live stream, and I could have came up with any excuse in the book. And that comes up also with being comfortable with being seen. Excuses. We will come up with every excuse in the book. For me, it could be my edges are turning gray again. I can't get that done. I have 2 wigs in my room right now and they're not done, and I need to flat iron them out. I could have said, you know what? I'm not even going to show up today. It is something as I have issues, like I have work to do to kind of doing all of that. And it's sort of like, no, I need to show up at least once a week, or show up so that people can be seen. And so people can see me. It does a couple things. One, it allows people to get to know you, and it allows people to trust you. And absolutely, its visibility in any form does make a difference. So it is great. And thank you very much, because you know that it is hard for me, like showing up, because it also breeds a form of inconsistency as well. So it's like, I'll show up today, and then 3-4 weeks from now, you may not see me for another 3 to 4 weeks. Why? Because I've created some form of excuse as to not to show up. But that is really my discomfort in being comfortable with not being seen. So what does that actually mean for me now and for you? You have to figure out a way to be seen, because it's uncomfortable, but it's sort of one of those things that we have to get out of our own way. And we have to continue to just keep pushing forward and taking small steps. I'm never asking you to take these huge leaps and these huge bounds to be seen. I'm telling you small steps. And one of the things that I always talk about is how an easy way to kind of do it is to attach your style and image to your goals, because they do go hand in hand, and they will allow you to kind of show up. And you can kind of, as you're moving along, either whether you're on the corporate route, or whether you're an entrepreneurial route, or if you're like me, you're kind of doing both of those at some point will intersect and meet. Because if you want to get to the C-suite and they need to see you, well, other than the credentials, you also have to look like you belong there as well. And I think that's where a lot of us sometimes can fall short. It's the same thing with showing up online. Yes, this is what I say I do, but you don't know that because I don't show up on a consistent basis to actually have conversations with you. And if you look at them, when you look at CEOs and executives, they are seen in their own personal way because style is very personal. Your image is personal. It is the one thing that I will always say. There are a few things that I always say. It is the one thing that you have complete and total control over. You get to show up how you want to get to show up, and you get to determine what your style and what your image says to everyone else. So you do want to ask yourself, what does my style say about me? Does it say I'm quiet? Does it say I'm guarded? Does it say I'm friendly? Does it say I'm professional? Does it say whatever it is that you want it to say? Am I powerful? Do I know my stuff? What does it actually say about you? And then once you can figure out right now what it says about you, you can correct that so that you can begin to turn around and show up in the way that you authentically want to show up. And it is something that you curate over time and should definitely not be rushed, but you just have to start small. So, one of the things that I have a few, I think weeks ago, I was kind of called out in a way about how, yes, I say that I'm a style coach, but I don't show up as a style coach, which was sort of like another way of how can people see you? You say what you want to, you say that, but you don't show up as that. And it really got me thinking. And so the live stream that I saw a few days ago, that's where I think it kind of hit home in coming up with this topic and realizing I am comfortable with not being seen. But now I have to become uncomfortable with being seen. And the crazy thing is, once I show up and once I get started, it kind of all begins to flow and the nervousness and everything, sometimes for the most part, goes away. So, this is what I have decided to do. So, I have decided to show you as to how you can begin to actually do this. And it's actually something that I have thought about doing since last year, but never actually started to do it. But what I'm seeing is I have to show up as the expert. I have to get out of my own way and I have to show you as well as teach you and help you along the way. So what I've decided to do is I have finally decided to show you my journey as I begin to kind of update, refresh, revamp, however it is I want to say it is going to be, my actual style and image. Now, that will not be here on LinkedIn and Instagram. You might see it in the stories on IG, I'm not for sure. But this will actually be a YouTube exclusive that I have. So for anything, for the links, or if you're watching on LinkedIn, the link is in my bio, in the description box of this live stream. If you're on Instagram, it's in my bio. Click that on, and I want you to follow me on my journey as I literally show you the process of going from comfortable to being seen, comfortable not being seen, to becoming uncomfortable yet comfortable with being seen, because it is a process. And that is also a process that is very personal and very much behind the scenes. And I'm one of those people that it takes a lot for me to show people that personal side and aspect. But if I can't, how can you learn to know me and trust me if I can't show you my own personal journey as well? And we can go through this together and show up in ways that we maybe have never thought we could show up, and to really take it our time to think about, okay, where do I want to end up long term? Here I am maybe at a director level, but I want to get to that next C-suite level. What do I need to do? What is the easiest way for me to show up and be seen? And the easiest way to do that, because we already have the degrees, we already have the credentials. That's something we already have. And I don't want anyone to ever think that that's what this is about. This is nothing to do with that because we already have it. I already know you got that, right? But this is showing up in a completely different way that when you walk in a room, people see you and you're comfortable with being seen. And it doesn't have to be this loud, crazy thing to where I think a lot of people think it's difficult and I have to be out. No, you can walk into a room, be in all black, but when they see you, because it's something that's both on the inside and the outside, that you could command a room and people are like, "Oh, who is that?" And it doesn't they're not have to be loud, but they might be whispering, "Oh, who is that? Like what does she do?" And your colleagues and those people that are in places that have influence that are actually able to recommend you, because remember, you're not only being seen out here, but you also need to be seen in the rooms that you're not even in. So if I want a role, say a VP role, well, the people that have the influence to talk about someone, who can we put in for this position? They have to see me. And if they see me, guess what? They can bring and put my name in the ring and bring my name to the table and say all of the things that I have done that make me a good fit for this role. So it's kind of twofold. Like you have to be seen not only just out here, but you have to be seen in a room that you're not even in. And that's where it probably matters the most, especially when you're in corporate America. Your name has to be in a room. And if your manager or your manager's manager, if they don't see you as that, then how are they going to recommend you for that? It doesn't matter what your resume says. So I say all of that to say that it is time for us to become uncomfortable. It's time for us to be uncomfortable with being seen. Because once we become uncomfortable with being seen, we will eventually become comfortable with being seen. And I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can join me on my journey through the rest of the year, how long it takes, as I go through step by step and how I go through this process. And it will be everything from me cleaning out my closet and getting rid of clothes, to creating shopping lists, to figuring out what it is my style vision board for this year and beyond. Maybe even talking to you through my different goals that I have and how I'm going to align them with that. And just maybe even discussing, people that are in the areas that I'm in, what do they look like? Because they could be a great inspiration to you as well. So I do highly invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Those videos will be coming soon. It'll probably start next month. I will definitely say for sure to start all of this as I go through this to kind of be the leader, so to speak, of this whole change so that we can begin to be comfortable with actually being seen. So, with all of that, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. If you are watching the replay, welcome. I probably should have said that earlier in today. If you are currently watching, thank you for watching me live. I totally appreciate it. And you will see me every week because, like I said, I am in the process and in the journey of trying to be learning to be comfortable with being seen and no longer making those excuses. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and have a great weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye, guys.